What's up, guys, and welcome to The Positive Pathway. Today I have a very special guest, Ivana Fertitta. Ivana is an Italian psychologist, facilitator and speaker with almost 2 decades of experience. She works for MetaMind, a boutique consultancy company based in Singapore, and she is an expert in positive psychology, resilience, stress management, happiness, and well-being. Ivana is also a strong women empowerment advocate, and she is the public speaking program lead for Keynote, Women Speakers Association, and a mentor for Aidha. Welcome to the show, Ivana.
Hi, Stuart. Thank you so much for having me today at your show.
Thank you, Ivana. So, Ivana, why don't we start with you sharing a little bit about yourself and MetaMind?
Sure. I'm always been curious about people and fascinated to understand how our mind works. That's why I decided to study psychology. But also, I'm always been very curious of exploring new things. That's why after graduation, I decided to embark in several very diverse career paths that brought me from being a community psychologist in Italy to being a business manager in the UK. But a few years along the line, I felt that something was missing. Although I had a very well-paid job, I had a fancy office in Canary Wharf, I felt that something was wrong there. So I started a self-discovery journey to understand why I was not happy. And as I got in touch with my values, I discovered that as I was passionate about learning, about self-development, and about helping other people, I decided to quit my corporate job and become a soft skills trainer. My first job in training wasn't very much money and was much more work than my corporate role. But for the first time, I was feeling fulfilled. And I loved learning something new every day. I never looked back, and slowly I discovered my purpose of helping other people to be happier and find their fulfillment in life. Today, I'm grateful that MetaMinds allow me to deliver talk and training programs in these topics with which I'm very passionate about. MetaMind is a small consultancy company which delivers customized training program to corporate clients. We are a bunch of passionate individuals, each of us with a different background and skill set, but we work together as we have something in common. We want our client to become the best version of themselves, and we help each other, we learn from each other and build on each other's strengths. Since I have my background in psychology, I'm the well-being and happiness expert. So I love helping my client to get to be more engaged and happier at work and in life, to develop strategy to face stress and change in a positive way, and definitely to develop a more positive and resilient mindset. The model I use to help my clients to be happier consists on 5 elements. And this is something you can also look at if you want to be more happy. The first element is positive emotions. In order to be happy, we need to feel more positive emotions. So it's important that we have a positive mindset and we see what is the half full glass instead than the half empty one, and also that we engage in activities that make us feel happy and cause some enjoyment, and basically we should have fun in what we do, may that work or may that your spare time. The second element is positive relationship. We should engage with our friends, family, and colleagues and build meaningful relationship with them. The third element is engagement. It's important that we do meaningful work and also we spend our time doing very interesting hobby and we experience what is called flow. Have you ever noticed that when you love doing something, the time flies and you even lose track of time? This is what is called flow. And when we spend time in this blessed state, this impacts positively our overall happiness and well-being. The third element is meaning, as it's very important that we engage in meaningful work. May that be paid work or unpaid work, and we find what is our purpose in life. And finally, the last and fifth element is achievement. It's important that we have goals in life, that we strive to achieve them, but also that we are proud of what we achieve, that we celebrate our success, and we feel proud of us. So I really feel proud of myself when I manage to inspire my clients to make positive changes into their lives. And definitely, the more I help them to be happier, the more happier I feel. So it's a win-win.
Wow, I love your 5 elements. I think I can see a new title coming for the YouTube, including 5 elements. Now, this is always my favorite question. You mentioned that you help clients being happier and more balanced, but what are your personal rituals or habits that you do daily to maintain a positive outlook?
Stuart, for this question. People I know will describe me as a positive and happy person. Maybe because I smile a lot, maybe because I love using humor, maybe because I simply look chilled and relaxed most of the time. It's true I have a positive and happy outlook most of the time, and I feel content. But as anyone else, I also experience my moment of stress. For example, when I'm preparing for a very important talk or presentation, I feel a lot of pressure because I want to deliver to the highest standard. So I may find myself experiencing anxiety or stress. So I have developed my own rituals in order to help me manage anxiety and also eliminate excessive stress if I notice the pressure gets a bit too much. So one thing I do when I feel a bit anxious is to do deep breathing. Deep breathing is something so simple but so powerful at the same time. So little as 3 deep breaths can help you feel more calm and relaxed anytime you feel anxious and stressed. Do you want to know why is that? I will explain you. So when we feel anxious or stressed, it's because we perceive that our mind see that object that make us feel stressed or anxious as a life or death threat. This is something we have inherited by our ancestors. So we have our primitive brain called amygdala that once noticed this stressor, identify like it was a tiger and activate this fight or flight response. So you may have noticed your breath gets faster, your heart starts beating faster, and you prepare for the action. But nowadays, we don't really see many tigers around us. Our threat is just a job interview or a presentation, so this reaction is not adaptive anymore. Other than that, our amygdala blocks our frontal cortex, that is the one responsible for our rational behavior. So it means that when we feel stressed and anxious, we don't manage to focus and think straight. But what happens if you practice deep breathing? If you start breathing slowly, you send the message to your brain that everything is okay and the situation is under control. So your brain also makes you feel more relaxed. So it's easy as that. You can practice 3 deep breaths anytime. If you are going to a job interview or if you have to do some public speaking, you can do that anywhere and it only takes a few seconds. Please take 3 deep breaths and you will notice how you feel more calm and more relaxed. Another thing that I practice often is mindfulness meditation. We also have evidence for neuroscientists that practicing meditation regularly even change our brain structure. How is going to do that? This is a phenomenon called neuroplasticity. That means that the more we use some part of our brain, the more this parts develop new connection and become stronger. Your brain is like a muscle. The more you use it, the more stronger it becomes. So it's been proven by science that when we practice mindfulness meditation regularly, the amygdala, that is the area that is responsible for the stress reaction, actually gets smaller, while other areas like the hippocampus and the frontal cortex expand. And these areas are responsible for compassion, for memory, and for focus. So practicing mindfulness meditation helps us to reduce stress, but also to improve our focus and our overall well-being. I got into the habit of practicing 5 to 10 minutes mindfulness meditation every day, either in the morning when I do a body scan to understand how I feel every single day, and also in the evening to wind down my very busy mind before going to sleep. I must admit that starting meditation wasn't very easy because my mind is really active, and I found it so stressful and frustrating to be able to stay still and not to get with the flow with my thoughts and being able to be there and observe them. So it took quite a while for me to learn how to practice meditation. So if you haven't done any meditation before, I would invite you to just be kind with yourself, to be patient, and also start from small. Start from 2-3 minutes, and then you can build to 5 and 10 minutes. Because if you start with a longer meditation, you may get so frustrated that you will give up. Anything else I practice regularly is yoga and exercising. Yoga helped me to feel more in contact with my inner self and more centered. And exercising is a really good way for me to manage my emotions. Every time I feel a bit upset, I go for a run, and at the end, I feel much better. I've never really been a sporty person, and I'm no way competitive, but I love the high after doing exercise, and this is the only positive and legal drug in Singapore. So why not? Doing exercise and doing yoga also helped me managing my energy levels. You may have noticed that your energy levels fluctuate during the days. So there are some moments when your energy levels are very low. So moving around helps you to recharge your batteries and get more energy to be able to complete the task you have to do, maybe at the end of the day. So it's very important that we keep moving. Something else, I live in the CBD, so I'm surrounded by many buildings and many people. So sometimes I feel it's a bit too much. So I feel the need of escaping into nature. So I do hiking in national reserve or by the sea. Being in touch with nature always makes me feel better. And although I do a conscious effort to eat healthy, sometimes I indulge in the occasional glass of wine or fine dining experience. As an Italian, eating good Italian food and connected with friends is something that certainly makes me feel very happy. What do I do if things don't go the way I've planned? I use a technique called reframing. Reframing is that technique that helps you to make from the negative experience something positive. So if you're facing any setback, something that looks negative, you can turn it around and focus on the positive and on what you can control instead than focusing on the negative and what is not under your control. For example, because of COVID-19, many people around the world have experienced being in lockdown. And everyone has reacted to the lockdown experience in a different way. I must admit that at the beginning, I didn't take it very well. But then I realized that there was no point of being frustrated because no one knows when this pandemic is going to end. And there was no point in focusing on the inability to see friends, of going back to work. So I consciously decide on focusing on what is positive and what can I do to make the most out of this situation. So I decide to learn something new. For example, I learned how to run webinars and how to transform experience which are face-to-face into virtual one. At the end, I feel very proud that I learned how to run webinars, and I deliver very successful ones about well-being and happiness, which are very much needed in this moment of change. I also experienced something new, like being part of a storytelling circle. I also been part of a group practicing improv acting, also virtually. And I created a series of fun activities for my family and friends to connect with them, even with the one close and far. And finally, I also converted some module of the Keynote public speaking training from face-to-face to online. And this has been the base for us now to launch the Keynote training program abroad to other countries other than Singapore.
Wow, sounds like you've been very busy, Ivana. Now, talking of keeping busy during COVID, just a couple of weeks ago, I was online participating in a Jerry Roberts workshop. We're Facebook friends now. And he was saying there's a huge lack of supply of female keynote speakers and that there is a huge demand. Perhaps you can tell us about your role as keynote training program lead for Keynote, Women's Speakers Association, and your commitment in women empowerment.
Thank you, Stuart, for this question. To start off with, Keynote is a non-profit organization with the aim of bringing equality to speaking stage all over the world. And as to your friend Jerry points, the problem is not sometimes that we don't have qualified women to speak at panels. The problem sometimes is that even though there are some women that are qualified for the job, the conference organizer, they don't know them and they don't know how to find them. So this is why Keynote mission is to give more visibility to women speakers and connect them to the conference organizer so they can find them when they're looking for more women. And also, Keynote is not like a speaking bureau, it's a community where each one helps each other and each one learns from each other. So I'm really pleased to be part of this community. It was 3 years ago when I met Mette for the first time. She's the founder of Keynote. I was looking for a volunteering opportunity to help women empowerment. And she was looking for someone to launch and run the Keynote training speakers program. So the Keynote Training Speakers program has the aim to grow the next generation of women speakers. It consists of a few modules where women will learn, first of all, what to discover what is their keynote, what is their topic they want to talk about, what are they passionate about, what is their message to the world. And then they will learn how to be confident on a stage, how to engage with the audience, and techniques such as storytelling and use of humor. Personally, I'm the one delivering the humor session, as I think it's very important for everyone to learn how to be spontaneous on stage and to embrace their fun side. Each module is delivered by a different speaker, so our trainee can see different role model and different styles. So 2 weeks later, 2 weeks after meeting Mette, the first edition of the Keynote training program was launched. It wasn't perfect at the start, but then it got better and better with time. And now, 3 years later, I'm launching the 4th edition of it. And I have an additional one for WOMAG, Women in Agriculture. And me and my team, we are preparing to launch Keynote to the pilot country of Malaysia and Japan, as there is a lot of demand, not only in Singapore, but all over the world. So I'm really proud of the success of this program. And I'm very happy to be part of this community, also like-minded women speakers.
Fantastic. Now, Aidha, this sounds like an initiative where your positive psychology skills could be very useful. Tell us, what do you do there? Did I say it right, Aidha?
Yes, Aidha. Aidha is also a non-profit organization with the aim of empower foreign domestic helpers. This lady came to Singapore, leaving their family and their country of origin behind. Most of the time, they work here for so many years and they work so hard and send most of the money they earn back home. But what happened is that after working here for a number of years, they return to their home country and often they're back to stage one, with maybe more age on their shoulder, but with no much more money and no much more hope for their future. So what Aidha does is, first of all, to teach them how to save money, to teach them how can they become more confident and all the skills they need to build their own business when they go back home. I've been a mentor with Aidha for the past 3 years, and it's been a very satisfying and very important journey for me. And I feel moved seeing this lady on the first day when they sit at the corner and they're really shy and they don't really want to speak, even if it's a small class of 10 people or more. And then I see them 1.5 years later at the graduation ceremony when they speak in front of an audience of 200 and more people presenting their first business plan. So certainly I've heard of many success stories that touch my heart and inspire me to continue supporting this cause and be the best version of myself. So doing voluntary work is also something that reduces our stress, make us find a purpose and increase our all happiness level. So I would recommend to do some voluntary work to each of us, to anyone.
Fantastic. Well, Ivana, thank you so much for your insights today. Feel free to connect with Ivana on LinkedIn if you want to know more about happiness and well-being. And if you want to find out about her upcoming webinars, I've put a link in the description. Thank you so much for being on the show, Ivana.
Thank you, Stuart. It's been a pleasure and I had a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And it was my pleasure as well, and I'm most grateful. So that's all for the show today, folks. If you liked this video, please subscribe to the channel and smash that like button. I'd like to hear your comments as well. And remember, respect one another. Respect. Bye for now.